So people will say that it's always a good time to buy gold, and maybe that's even true, but ideally you'd buy more at the bottom, less at the top. But how do you know which is which? So I'm posting a video about buying gold the day before a big day for the price of this stuff. Now, the Fed tells us tomorrow where rates are going, and we just don't know which Powell we're going to get. We don't know if we're going to get hawkish Powell or dovish Powell, unless, of course, you're watching this from the future, and then I guess you know. Hawkish Powell hits us with the 75 basis point rate hike, and that sends the price of gold down. Dovish Powell says things are still okay, keeps the rate hike at 50 basis points, and then gold is looking pretty good. So in the first case, we have a buying opportunity ahead of us, and in the second, well, I guess this is the buying opportunity. That whole idea of what is a buying opportunity is relative to the market cycle. Bear and bull markets play a little bit differently in gold than they do in the stock market. And I'm not able to give any financial advice here, but I can just give some common sense observations. And one of those is that buying in a bear market is different than buying in a bull market. I'm going to bring this back to gold in a minute, but if you look at the markets or even something like crypto, when you buy in a bull market, you're buying dips between tops and you're hoping that it's a dip. But if you keep buying those dips in a bull market again, if that's your strategy, well, eventually you buy a top. Because not all dips are going to recover, that last one won't. And that's just the way that it works when you're buying at highs. You're hoping for continued higher performance. Now, in a bear market, you're buying at lows. And if you're buying dips in a bear market, you eventually buy a bottom. Because eventually one of those dips does actually recover to the point where you go back into a bull cycle. So I'm generalizing here, but you get the idea. Buying in a bull market is a lot more fun, but buying in a bear market has the potential to make bigger returns. So to take that a little bit further, you don't necessarily buy in a bear market to make money in a bear market. You buy in a bear market to make money in the next bull market. And I'm not here to tell you that you can't make money in a bear market. If you've been shorting the Qs or SPY or some other market index, you've probably been doing really well. But the idea of buying in a bear market is different than buying in a bull market. And if I forgot to mention it, the stock market is officially in a bear market. Okay, so back to gold. Gold to me has always felt a little bit like buying in a bear market. I'm not buying for the current cycle, I'm buying for some future price. So, in other words, I'm not buying gold to make money right now. And I think that that's a good concept to really let sink in. If you're buying gold or silver, you're buying for a future cycle. This is a Perth Mint High Relief Lunar, by the way, 2017, Year of the Rooster. Nice, thick, 1 ounce coin. 2017 would have been a really good time to buy. So to try to make sense of that, in June of 2019, the spot price of gold was $13.30-ish, depends on the day you choose. Now, I'd been buying regularly since late 2013, and I would say that that period from late 2013 to 2019 was a prior cycle. Anything purchased in that time frame could have been sold in the current cycle at a 50% profit. And that assumes, of course, that selling for profit was part of your goal, but we all know that that's not always the case. Now, anything purchased from 2020 until now is a little bit more of a tough call. Maybe prices jump up this year, maybe they drop a little bit, but we've been buying in a bull run. And again, I don't think that you buy gold to sell in that same cycle if your goal is to turn a profit. It's more about securing wealth, maybe saving in a way that's a lot more exciting than cash, and then depending on your specific moves, maybe making minor gains. So earlier I said that bull and bear markets play out differently in gold as compared to other markets. And we've seen the stock market give up more than 20% in 2022. So that puts it in bear market territory. We've seen Bitcoin give up 75% since its high in November. So for comparison, gold is up about 1% on the year. So even though it doesn't make sense to buy gold and turn around and sell it in a short period of time, it's outperforming the kinds of assets that you would typically think of as growth assets. Now, I'll bring this up partially to answer a few questions that have been coming in recently about why gold isn't performing better right now. Now, I see the current cycle as a bull cycle. We have not seen a 20% correction in gold, so I'm comparing today's prices against anything prior to the start of the run in late 2019. Just like it's fun to buy stocks and crypto and Pokemon in a bull cycle, it's fun to buy gold and see the prices go up. But at some point, you buy a cycle top. Now, I've never been able to call tops or bottoms, nobody can, but I think the bull cycle for gold personally still has a long way to run. But I'm not buying gold to get rich. So, second reminder here that I'm not qualified to give financial advice, I'm just giving basic observations, but the way to buy for gains is to buy bottoms and sell tops. Like I said, I can't call those tops, I can't call those bottoms, but anyone suggesting that gold is following the stock market right now, well, they're not looking closely at the cycles, or maybe they're just looking too closely at the effect of bond yields right now. Since bonds are an easy buy, they're affecting risk off assets and risk on assets similarly, meaning they're bringing them both down. So gold is not following the stock market. It's definitely in its own lane. And if you want to say that it's in the slow lane, I guess that's fine. Gold is now coming up on some crash sites, though. Bitcoin's on fire in the ditch. The market's maybe waiting for a tow. Probably took that analogy too far, but once again, I think that we're learning more about the asset right now, just like we're learning more about cryptocurrency. There are a lot of people that are new enough to both gold and cryptocurrency that their only frame of reference is the run from 2020 through 2021 and just getting to 2022. So Bitcoin is absolutely in a bear market right now. So is the stock market. Gold is not. So one more point, and then I think we can call it good. One of the comments that's always struck me as being illogical is backing up the truck for a dip in gold in a bull market. The time to back up the truck, if there is one, is in a bear market. It's just a lot riskier in a bull market since the dips are small moves off of highs rather than a bear market where those dips are, well, they're around lows. And that bit of non-financial advice applies to any market, in my experience at least. If I was backing up the truck on something, I'd want it to be when the price truly is low. And gold's price drops have all been pretty minimal this cycle. We hit a few points. There was a 15% drop a while back that I did buy more on, but most of the so-called dips have been 2 or 3%. So normally I'm buying it like it's in a bull market because technically it is. And what that means specifically is dollar cost averaging, watching for specific big info days like we're going to see on Wednesday, and then taking advantage of small dips. That just helps me better time purchases that I was already planning to make. Now, if we do see hawkish Powell on Wednesday with the 75 basis point rate hike, it's possible we see a big drop in gold price. So it's a good example of timing dips. Now, if it does drop, I'll pick up my scheduled buy at a discount, but I'm not going to back up the truck. And then if gold goes the other way, I'll probably still buy quickly since it could signal the price going up. But neither signal really takes me off plan. Again, that's what buying in a bull cycle is. I think that covers it, so let us know what you think. Are you waiting on the Fed? Personally, I think that's starting to get a little bit old, but let us know what you're doing. Are you buying or waiting? Are you renting a bigger truck? Let us know. And while you're in the comments, be sure to hit that like button if you found any of this interesting. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on if you want to see more on the topic. And if you're still here, thanks again for watching. I always appreciate your time. Take care.